welcome to Radbooks4u. Today I've got a special book review for you. Today we are looking at the long-awaited Diary of a Wimpy Kid Wrecking Ball. In this book, Greg and his family inherit enough money to build an addition to the family kitchen. But when a small mistake in planning triggers a chaotic demolition, the Heffleys may have to get out of town, and fast. Now I'll read you the back of the book. An unexpected inheritance gives Greg Heffley's family a chance to make big changes to their house. But they soon find that home improvement isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Once the walls come down, all sorts of problems start to crop up. Rotten wood, toxic mold, unwelcome critters, and something sinister all make Greg and his family wonder if the renovations are worth the trouble. When the dust finally settles, will the Heffleys even be able to stay, or will they need to get out of town? In this book, we also get to see Greg's plans for his dream home. I'll show you them. I have my own place. Everything's gonna be different. And I'm not just talking about the lawn either. I used to think I wanted to live in a big mansion with a giant gate around it, but then I realized if I was famous, everyone would know where I lived. Celebrity home tours. So my new plan is to build a really small house that doesn't attract a lot of attention, and then all the good stuff will be underground. I've got ideas for what's going to go on each level. In fact, I just finished designing the 5th floor last week, and it's probably my favorite. Trampoline park, rotating restaurant, laser tag arena, bowling alley, archery range, arcade, secret candy stash. Wow. I'm a little worried about living underground, though, because my brother Roderick lives in our basement, and I'm not sure that's healthy. So I'm going to have tons of screens that look like windows to make it feel like I'm living on the surface. My house is going to be big, so it'll take me a while to get from place to place. That's why I'm planning on having moving sidewalks everywhere. Warning, the moving walkway is coming to an end. Yeah, I know. My bathtub is going to be made of glass, and it'll sit inside a giant aquarium so it can feel like I'm in the ocean. Look at that drawing. My security system is going to be super high-tech. I've designed all sorts of booby traps for anyone who tries to get inside. And if someone gets past the front door, I'll just wait them out in my panic room, which is going to have steel walls that are 3 feet thick. Every so often, I'll probably have a party or something so people can see how awesome my house is. But if they stay too late, I'll have a way to get them out of there and back up to street level. All this stuff is going to be expensive, so it's going to take a while for me to save enough money to make it happen. But I figure it can't hurt to start planning now. So guys, what did you think about Greg's dream home? I know I'd be willing to move in. Once the construction starts, Greg's dad wants him to go and learn some skills from the professionals and help the workers out. But Greg manages to screw up. I'll read you what happened. Yesterday, the construction crew poured concrete for the foundation, and today they started framing the addition. I thought it was pretty cool seeing how everything was coming together. Unfortunately, Dad noticed that I was interested in what was happening outside, and that put an idea in his head. Dad said this project was a good opportunity for me to learn from real professionals and pick up some skills I can use down the road. I wasn't really on board with that plan, though. Most of these construction workers look like they're really rough hands from working with all that heavy equipment, and I use all sorts of lotions and creams to make my hands nice and soft. And I like to keep them that way because my hands are my best feature. So buttery. But that was exactly the wrong thing to tell my dad, because it earned me a 1 ticket to outside. I don't know why Dad sent me out there and not Roderick. Manny actually wanted to go with me, but Dad told him he was too young to help, and Manny didn't take that well. Dad told me I needed to find the person in charge and see how I could pitch in. So I asked around, and someone introduced me to the foreman, who was in his trailer. I guess the foreman was too busy to deal with some middle school kid, so he told me to find a guy named Buddy and talk to him. Well, Buddy was pretty easy to find, especially since his name was tattooed on his forehead. Buddy was working with some guys on the framing, so I thought I'd start off by telling them who I was. But they weren't as impressed as I thought they should be. I'm the owner. I told these guys I was out there to help them. So Buddy told me I had a really important job, which was to hold up a wall they had just framed. And I did feel pretty important for a while, at least until I realized the wall was holding itself up on its own. Once I understood it was a prank, I figured this is just the way the construction workers joke around with each other. So I picked up a hammer and asked Buddy if I could nail some boards together or something. Buddy told me that would be great, but I was holding a left-handed hammer and I needed to find a right-handed one. So I asked around the job site, and it took me a long time to realize that was a joke too. It hit me that since I was the youngest guy out here, the other workers didn't respect me. I figured they wanted me to quit, but I didn't want to give them that satisfaction. I decided I was going to prove myself by working hard and move up the ranks. And maybe within a week or two, I'd have guys like Buddy reporting to me. So I went around the construction site finding things I could do to help out. I filled some buckets with water for the workers who were mixing concrete, and I moved a pile of gravel out of the way when a truck needed to get through. By the time we broke for lunch, I was feeling pretty good about myself, but I didn't want to kick back and relax because then these guys would think I was lazy. So when lunch got delivered, I went around the job site handing out everyone's orders, and that made me really popular. One guy named Luther was in the middle of mixing a batch of concrete, so I had to wait before I could hand him his meatball sub. And to be extra helpful, I unwrapped it for him so he'd be able to have it as soon as he was finished. But I wasn't being careful, and the meatballs slid out of the sub and into a bucket of wet concrete. Luther didn't look like the kind of guy who would be happy about a meatball sub with no meatballs in it, so I tossed the rest of the sub into the bucket and backed away. I'm glad I got out of there when I did, too, because when Luther accused Buddy of stealing his meatball sub, things got ugly. I snuck back into the house and then locked the door behind me. And when Dad asked me why I wasn't still out there working, I told him I was retired. So all in all, I think this is a great book, and it's really funny. You can get this at your local library. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and remember to like for more awesome book reviews. I'll see you guys next time.